Hello and welcome. This beta will be a report on how my DA is travelling, what changes I've made and intend to make into the future and towards the due date. My DA involves investigation of technology in sports and whether the continuing innovations of such technologies will detract from the overall beauty of certain sports into the short-term future. This series will aim to include 4 blogs, including 4 audio podcasts, which will delve deeper into the topics discussed in the written blog. I will justify my points through primary and secondary research acting as evidence for points raised. To include my DA, I will produce a summary in the form of a video compiling all information from my overview blog, my issue-based vlog, and my positives vlog. This will then make way for the video where I will discuss what it all means for the short-term future of sports technology, summarizing everything up. My targeted audience involves anyone with interest in sports, particularly football, basketball, and cricket. It can also appeal to a person with interest in technology. The topic is quite relevant around the world as the saturation of technology in sport continues to rise. Speculation about whether certain video referee systems are needed in the game of football, for example, is significant and is how I came up with the idea in the first place. Tennis decided to halt the use of Hawkeye in its latest Australian Open, begging the question as to whether other sports will follow. I also feel like this will be a beneficial project going to the future of my work, as working in sports media, whether it's journalism or any other form of media, is something which I aspire to do. When looking back at my production timeline, you may tell that I'm a fair bit behind. I took a longer period of time to do background research and truly get a good grip on what I was researching. As well as this, I was conflicted by ideas in relation to this project, whether I needed to find a niche, whether I needed to switch the whole thing up. In the end, I've decided to remain with the same project idea, however, will aim to direct my question towards the use of technology in sports such as football, cricket and basketball, because I have significant knowledge of each 3 sports, as well as the factor that these 3 sports, in my opinion, are the most saturated with technology. So as mentioned before, I will refine my research towards 3 sports, football, cricket and basketball, which was a comment from one of my peers on my DA pitch video. I'll also include a positives blog and podcast, which will work to compare to my previous blog and podcast on the current issues with technology in my sport selected. I gained several helpful comments as part of my peer feedback assignment. So now I'll raise 4 points which will help to further continue my project in a better fashion. Point 1. How far will I research into the future? This was something which I forgot to point out in my pitch. I now believe that I do want to look back at the next 5 years, therefore a short-term timeline. I do want to look at short-term as my main point, as I intend to look at what needs to change in the next few years. And I will then consider the audience's reception and whether it will have developed or stayed the same. Second point is that I must include more research from lecture slides. Plenty of valuable websites and articles were linked, ranging from Wendell Bell's readings to George Orwell's predictions of surveillance. All links will be looked and hopefully applied at some stage of my future DA work. Third point was that I may suggest narrowing my research. This is something I took on board as I refined my research to 3 sports instead of trying to take on many different sports in one project. My final point is incorporating Wendell Bell's futures into my project, or at least in my draft, to help myself finalize a happy medium between possible, profitable, and preferable in my final video where I provide my prediction.